Hello Visioneers, and welcome to Small Business Celebration. We're beginning a new series of business owners who are rising from recession. And our guest this week owns a Pilates studio who is raising the bar with great poise. This is Small Business Celebration. Join us as we learn from successful business owners and successful business leaders about who they are, from where their business has grown, what they have learned, and where their successful business is going. I'm your host, Michael I. Roberts, and we're going to learn something that you can use today to grow a strong and profitable business. Hello Visioneers, and welcome to Small Business Celebration. And our guest this week is Callie Jenkins, the owner of Poise, Pilates, and Barre. Welcome to Small Business Celebration.
Thank you.
A little nervous, are we?
No, never.
Of course not. And for Visioneers who don't know who you are and what is it that you do?
Hi, my name is Callie Jenkins, and I own Poise, Pilates, and Barre, downtown Bakersfield at 1800 21st Street. And we are a fitness studio that focuses on Pilates, Barre, TRX, and now adding yoga.
And when we talk about a bar, we're not talking about the kind that you drink alcoholic beverages at. What kind of a bar are we talking about?
It's a ballet bar.
And it's spelled?
B-A-R-R-E.
Ah, not B-A-R. Excellent. And
we have that too if you want that, but...
Shh, you have to be 21 or older, right?
I'm kidding.
For Visioneers who are interested, we live in a very interesting time, and one of the great things about your business is you started out as a traditional Pilates studio. Mm-hmm. While that is something that is interesting unto itself, it's what you're doing post-COVID or during COVID that's fascinating. And for Visioneers who don't know your story, very briefly tell us, how did you get started? What happened when the recession hit? And now where are we going with this business?
Great question. So I opened up the studio about 8.5 years ago, very, very small with a business partner. And we grew on demand. So we started with 2 classes a day, and as more people came, we added more classes, et cetera, to then get to about 50 classes a week.
Wow.
Pre-COVID.
That's a lot of clients.
A lot of clients, a lot of classes, a lot of instructors, a lot going on.
Wow.
COVID hit, and it was a screeching halt from 50 to 0 classes a week. Well, we were only at 0 classes for 2 days because I jumped on the on-demand.
And on-demand is?
On-demand is classes that you can take at home. Now that whole part we can get into another time on how that's evolved, because everything evolves, but it was immediate. We started doing classes on Zoom. People could log in, they could be there with us, take classes with us as if they were, in class. But as the instructor, it was just the instructor teaching, talking, and doing the entire class. So we did that for a few months, and then we've kind of evolved into something else. And here we are, still streaming, and then hoping to be open here very, very soon. So we can have online as well as in studio classes.
And that is the key, is because for some it may not feel like it, but we are starting to have an economic recovery, and some of us are starting to feel it in more ways than one. And that is one of the things about your business that's fascinating, is because you have the traditional business that was closed to COVID. Now you've moved online and it's growing. And now that we're coming out of the recession, you're growing in an even bigger direction with that. Tell us, what is it that you're doing?
So we changed our fitness studio to be a live studio. So instead of a computer in front of an instructor teaching a class to people who log in, we now have a channel that runs classes as if you were in class, and then we can view live or view later.
Nice.
So we invested the money to put the lights in, the cameras in, all the recording, all that fancy stuff that I don't know anything about. But I have lots of people that helped with that, and it's been really, really great to have more of a bird's eye view of the studio that everybody loves, as opposed to me in front of a camera trying to teach a class by myself in a room by myself. So that's kind of been a fun transition to do that.
And you bring up something that's very important in all this, is that you're not a techno geek.
Definitely not.
You don't?
I am in certain ways, but not in video.
But at the same time, you went out and found the resources of the people that knew how to do that. How did you do that? Did you just simply go online and Google, internet person, help me please? Or did you go through a network of people? Or how did you discover the right people to help you with this online streaming?
Well, interesting that you ask. Because of COVID, a lot of people have had lots of changes in careers, careers coming to a halt. We have a big group of friends, personally, professionally, Bakersfield in general, it's just super supportive.
Right.
So we have a friend who was in the lighting industry for concerts, corporate events, all that stuff. And he was my guy. And he has done everything for me, and it's been such a great experience.
And who is he?
His name is Mikey Kitts and Jason Holland.
Okay.
And they are starting their own company now because of that.
Nice.
And so I think it's just been fun to help a friend, but also see a friend start a new venture as well. Something completely different than what he was doing before, but who knows where it's going to go, because our future's kind of unknown at this point when it comes to on-demand live streaming, not even just with fitness, talking weddings, all that kind of stuff. So I think that they've got a fun little niche that I think that they'll be successful at for sure.
Last week's guest was Morgan Clayton, and he said that people do business with people they know, they like, and they trust.
Absolutely.
But this whole venture of going online and going forward is all about developing community. And when we come back, we're going to talk a bit about community and how it is that you do that. But before we do that, how do people get in touch with you? We
are on Google. No, you can Google Pilates Bakersfield, we will come up. But we have a website, www.poisepilatesbarre.com. That's BARRE.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram. Come by and see us, really anywhere.
And where are we at?
Oh, we are at 1800 21st Street in downtown Bakersfield, catty corner to the Fox Theater on the backside.
In a very architecturally cool building to take a look at.
Absolutely. The best building in Bakersfield.
Very good. And remember, if you like Small Business Celebration, remember to like, subscribe, notify, and tell a friend. And we'll be right back. Now that we've entered the fourth quarter of 2020 and the economic indicators seem to be rebounding, is your balance sheet saying otherwise? What are you going to do? Who are you going to turn to? Turn to a real human being that has your business interests at heart. Turn to Sunbelt Business Brokers and Advisors, where a real human being will guide you with real-world expertise and a proven track record that will get your business numbers back on track. Call Sunbelt Business Brokers and Advisors at 661-323-2358 or visit them at sunbeltnetwork.com/Bakersfield-CA and get your numbers up. Call Sunbelt Business Brokers and Advisors at 661-323-2358 or visit them at sunbeltnetwork.com/Bakersfield-CA today. We're here with Callie Jenkins, the owner of Poise, Pilates, and Barre. And Visioneer Nation has a question. And the Visioneer Amada asks, I've got an active family, active kids, active husband, a busy business, constant ask to volunteer in the community, and there are many times I feel overwhelmed. What do you do in order to, on an annual, weekly, or monthly basis, to keep from going stir crazy?
I love that question. I feel like it relates to me.
Okay.
But I would say definitely one step at a time.
Okay.
For myself, I am a lot more productive when I'm busy. So I thrive on a life like that, a busy, fun, crazy, volunteer, work, family, social life.
Right.
So for me, I love it. But for the advice that I would give somebody that maybe that's not how they thrive is literally just one thing at a time. And slowly but surely it chips away and you're good.
One of the things that makes your business unique is that you have a policy of when you come in for your session, you need to leave your personal life and your personal world outside. Why do you have that? Why is this important?
Well, you know, I think that just happens in nature. We strive very, very hard to provide a positive environment when people come here. So it's not a waiver that people signed before they come in and understand that that's what the way it works, but you just don't really have time to bring that in when you're here. It's a very friendly environment. We push you hard. We push you to your goals.
Right.
That really when you're here for that hour, you don't have time to think about those things.
Do you have it so that it permeates not just your employees, but it flows from your employees into your customers?
I think it goes both ways.
Okay.
You know, I think that with us, well, I'll speak for myself. I can't speak for everybody else that works for me, but I would say that if I'm having a bad day, I try my hardest to walk in and leave it at the door. But I do feel when I have a day like that there is that perfect client that comes in at that perfect time, whoever it is, that just flipped me to feeling differently. They don't even know that they do that because it's my goal to not even, you know, let them feel that there's something going on. But they help me just as much as I help them, and it's just a great place to be. And I believe that that's where the success comes from.
We had talked about in the last segment a little bit about how you've gone virtual.
Yes.
And we had talked about building that community. And that is something that you're really good at, is you're really good at people. And for those of us that are introverts, we're a little jealous of this. But part of leaving your troubles outside is also part of the personality that you bring and your ability to read people and you're able to understand them. For those of us that are socially uninclined,
Stop.
what is some of the practices that you do to help communicate with people so that you can deliver your best for them and vice versa?
Well, I'm a huge believer in this particular community in Kern County. It's one of the best, in my opinion, although I've lived other places, but there's just something really special about the community.
Right.
So I love the people here. I'm sure if I were to move anywhere else, I could probably create something similar, but I don't know, we're pretty special around here. So when it comes to people, I have learned, and it maybe is just the way that I was raised or just who I am, but is to ask them how they're doing and really sincerely, how are you? How are the kids? How's it going? Right? Just that simple question, I believe goes a long way. And yes, they ask about me and what's going on in my life, and you know, that whole thing. It's a mutual thing, but I really do think that that's a key thing, is to really care about others. And one of my favorite things is we're super close to the Padre Hotel. And we have a lot of people that are here for the weekend or here that are interviewing for a job, and they find us, they come in for a class on a Saturday, and I'm here most Saturdays. And I love to connect them to that community and send them to my favorite restaurant or my favorite coffee shop or my, you know, client that's also in the same industry. Let's all go have coffee, or just that sense of community that I love.
When we come back, if you think all this happened just on a whim or just happened overnight and everything was perfect, sunshine and roses, well, we've got news for you. We'll be right back. Have you ever noticed that some of our guests here on Small Business Celebration seem to be a little nervous about being on camera? Well, that's because they are, and that's part of the human condition too. It's about overcoming what makes you feel uncomfortable so that you not only improve yourself, but improve your business. And we here at Small Business Celebration would love to hear about the things that you have overcome and you have experienced that have made you better and your business better. So go ahead and leave a comment, and also reach out to us on social media, whether it be on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram and leave a comment. Let us know how you have overcome your obstacles and become a better person and grown a stronger and more profitable business. We're here with Callie Jenkins, the owner of Poise, Pilates, and Barre, and you have found a great way to connect with people. And prior to COVID, one of the struggles that you had with your business is just finding clientele to begin with. When you first opened, first of all, what was your goal when you first opened?
When we first opened 8 years ago, our first business plan was 40 people a week.
Right, and that's how all the math worked out so that you could keep the lights on and all that other good stuff.
Have air conditioning and water to drink. Those fun things.
But did it turn out that way?
It actually grew more than that, which was really fun. So we naturally grew into what we are today. A lot of people walk in, they're like, oh my goodness. Well, we didn't just wake up one day and have 3 different divisions and now 4 with virtual, right?
Right,
it's like
right.
Every year I felt like we always added something that needed. There was a need, we would add it. There was a need, we'd add it. And then that brought us to where we are today.
But how did you find those first 40 customers?
I would say that my number one avenue, or our number one avenue back then, was just the community and just different aspects of volunteer work and being active in the community, as simple as going and get a coffee, not at the same place every day, but trying new places, going and working out at different places, not just at my place, right? Just supporting as many businesses as I possibly can, especially locally owned. I always support that.
Right.
But I would say just a little bit of everything goes a long ways. One
of those community activities is you're on the board for Memorial Hospital.
Yes, sir.
Why Memorial?
A couple reasons. We had our babies there, which is very dear to our hearts, but I know a lot of people at the hospital. A lot of upper management, a lot of nurses, a lot of doctors, and that's just the hospital that has always spoke to me. And so when I give my time, I like to give my time wisely, and that's a place that I really do believe in, and I think that they raise their money wisely and make a difference in our community.
So you being on the board for Memorial Hospital has helped your business?
Absolutely. Everything, every little thing I do, I feel like just doing this interview with you, I think is a great way to just get out there and be seen and know who, have people know who I am.
Now that we're in COVID, that makes it more difficult, does it not?
Very much so, yes.
But you still need to get out in the community, and you still need to be active because, as you admitted in the last segment, you're a person that does better with 100 things on the checklist every day.
Yes.
How are you dealing with, here in the age of COVID, getting out in the community? How has your strategy changed, or how are you doing things differently?
Well, our meetings went virtual at the hospital, so I still am virtually active there. Okay. But I would say that I just do similar things that I did before COVID, but and I do it safely. So I'll go for a walk in the neighborhood as opposed to going and visiting another workout gym, or when I go to the market, of course I wear my mask and I keep my distance, but I'm still out and about and try to be visual.
And you still keep fixing or getting your coffee fix.
Yes, very much so. At all the different places.
At all the different places. One of the other things about this business that's very unique about it is that, first of all, if you haven't been to this location, you really need to. The architecture is really neat, and it stands out.
It really is so cool.
But this also came with challenges when you started your business, because yes, you got to your first 40 people, and then before COVID you were almost 400, and now going online it's growing even further. What did you do with those first challenges of growth?
I would say that COVID kind of allows us to reset. So if there were some areas that maybe weren't as effective or efficient with our time or our money or whatever, then we can actually take a couple steps back and rebuild in a stronger, more efficient way. And that's really what I'm focusing on right now is, yes, still numbers and bottom line and P&L and all that stuff, but the opportunity to be able to step back and rebuild can actually be more powerful at the end of it all.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Is what I'm really focusing on.
One of the other things that you have also mentioned is your interest in community involvement, but also in the business community here in Bakersfield. And when you're looking at a small business, an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, or a business owner that has 50 to 100 employees, what attributes are you looking for in that business owner for whom you want to support?
Well, it's just encouraging to watch people go for things that they love, and I love to support really anybody that's willing to take that leap, because there's not a lot of us out there. So that's why I think we all like each other, is because we all have that, whatever that is, we all have it.
Sure.
And it makes just that alone connects us. So if it's a restaurant owner like my friend Jessica, to somebody that's starting a company, it's the same passion that I want to just share with them and support them, and gosh, whatever I can do for them, I would do anything for them.
And that leads us to our Visioneer question, which is, Visioneer Fernando asks, my wife is a very social person, and now with COVID, she doesn't exercise as much as she used to because there's nobody to do it with. What can she do right now to get her active with people and exercise like she used to?
Well, until we can open again, you can find us on the web at our website, online at Instagram or Facebook, and also contact us to get involved with our virtual platform.
Well, Callie, this has been a real treat. Thank you very much for being on Small Business Celebration, and we really look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Now that we've entered the fourth quarter of 2020 and the economic indicators seem to be rebounding, is your balance sheet saying otherwise? What are you going to do? Who are you going to turn to? Turn to a real human being that has your business interests at heart. Turn to Sunbelt Business Brokers and Advisors, where a real human being will guide you with real-world expertise and a proven track record that will get your business numbers back on track. Call Sunbelt Business Brokers and Advisors at 661-323-2358 or visit them at sunbeltnetwork.com/Bakersfield-CA and get your numbers up. Call Sunbelt Business Brokers and Advisors at 661-323-2358 or visit them at sunbeltnetwork.com/Bakersfield-CA today. Who is a visioneer? A visioneer is a business leader who is a pioneer that has vision. A visioneer is someone willing to see the world not as it is, but as it could be, and is willing to do something about it. A visioneer is ethical, smarter, faster, and leaner than the mainstream competition. A visioneer gives value first because visioneers are in the business for the long haul. Visioneers understand the difference between saving money and earning a profit. Visioneers define their destiny. Visioneers create their own luck. Visioneers surround themselves with successful, like-minded people. Visioneers are renegades who defy the mainstream competition and are ready to change the world. Are you a visioneer? Join the Visioneer Tribe with Small Business Celebration on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram today.